First of all, happy Hispanic Heritage Month.
Yes, thank you so much. Wonderful to talk to you.
All right. How has Erica Ortega's character evolved from season 1?
Sure. So in terms of how we see her in season 2, sure. So I think the wonderful thing about Ortegas is that she very much, what we know about her is that she's a fantastic helmsman, right? And so everything that she does, is kind of an offshoot of that. She's very confident. She knows her place. She knows that she's earned her place on the Enterprise, which is a good place to be, right? Because you know that your captain trusts you, your crew trusts you, and you trust them, and that's important in so many ways. And so we know too that she's very confident in what she does. So we learned a number of things about her in season 1, but not much compared to the legacy characters. And so we're going to see a lot more of that in season 2. I've said this a few times now, that her background is as a soldier as well as a pilot. And so we didn't see that much about it in season 1. And to be honest, I can't even remember how much we did or didn't see, because knowing that she was a soldier and this, really hotshot pilot who is known for her skills, that kind of went into everything I used to create Ortega. So I'm not sure how much we even touched on her soldier background in season 1, but we're going to see more of that in season 2. I don't think that's giving anything away, but I can't say in what ways. And we're also going to see her relationships with everyone on the Enterprise, which is, I think that camaraderie is something that fans really love, and they loved especially from the original series and all the Star Treks that have come after it, all the crews we met after that. And so we're going to see more of that in season 2, kind of how she works with other people on the bridge. And yeah, we're just going to see more of what we love about her, and we're going to learn more things that hopefully are going to make fans love her even more.
Awesome. What's the most surprising aspect of the Star Trek fandom?
So I always knew, even before being part of the show, I know of course about Trekkies. But since becoming part of Star Trek, I've learned 2 things. One is that when you book a role on Star Trek, you find out that many of your family members are Trekkies that you never even realized. And so I've discovered not just family, but friends, all these people who have been like, I'm a huge Star Trek fan, and I never knew it. But also in terms of the fandom at large, they really are like a family. And I've really tried to engage as much as possible via social media, which I think is a wonderful tool when in the right hands. Like it's a really effective form of communication, which I know a lot of people are like, what? Like, I think Twitter is terrible. But no, I love Twitter and Instagram because it really allows you to have a conversation with fans. And I think with COVID and the way that people weren't able to go to conventions and they weren't able to kind of, interact with actors on shows, it was wonderful for me to be able to kind of share in that enthusiasm from the show. And fans, you get to see how talented they are and how they create fan fiction and they create storylines about characters, and getting to do all that while we were filming season 2 and while fans and the world were getting introduced to season 1 was, just a wonderful experience. And it really it kind of electrified the set of season 2. So I'll say that's the biggest thing, is just how much of a family fans are, and how much I'm glad to be a part of that. And I keep telling fans, they're as big a part of what we do on Strange New Worlds as the actors and crew, who make it all happen. Because this franchise exists because of fans, really.
Yeah. Do you ever search for crazy speculations about Erica Ortega's on the internet? If so, what's the craziest rumor you've bumped into?
Oh my goodness, that's a wonderful question. So I remember hearing once that fans got excited when they found out that us on set while we were filming, we were reading about fan fiction that fans create. They're like, that's wild, and I didn't even realize that all of this went on. And so they create like fans create like stories about like who Eric is in a relationship with, and I love all of those. The term is like to ship somebody with somebody else, and the way that people like argue about who should be with somebody else. So I've gotten a super kick out of all of that. And what I keep telling fans is just, patience in terms of what we're learning about her. We're going to learn more about Ortegas, and we're going to learn more about her relationships and her background and her future, of course. but I'm trying to think. I haven't any crazy speculation. Um, no, I know like people get worried that people are getting worried in the first few episodes of season one that she's in red, because of the, the storyline that, red shirts always die. And I'm like, no, they don't. And I'm like, just trust that good things can happen to red shirts. So definitely there's a little bit of like, and also because Ortegas is not a legacy character. So she's a bit of a wild card, right? Because we know where Spock ends up. We know what happens to Uhura and Spock on the original series, but we don't know where Ortegas ends up. So there's a lot of like mystery. And so seeing fans who are very concerned about what's going to happen to her, I would just like to say that for now, just trust that Ortegas has big things ahead of her still.
I love that. What's your favorite gadget from the future?
My favorite gadget from the future. I would have to say, I mean, it's not really a gadget, but just the helm of the Enterprise, because I spend so much time in front of it. I know I spoke about it all while we were doing press for season one, but it became such a thing for me that I knew how to fly, the Enterprise. I always thought I was going to come on set and get like a manual, to how to do everything. And it wasn't the case. And so I spoke a lot with everyone who does graphics and people who have been with Star Trek for a really long time to kind of learn the way that it runs. And just, I feel like, if at any point I'm sitting there at the helm and I don't believe that I'm flying the ship, I might as well go home, because when I'm on set and when we're filming, if I believe it, then fans will believe it. And the feedback I've gotten from fans is that they're like, when the ship banks one way, like you see Ortega's bank one way, like you feel that she is, like, when you're looking at her, you feel like she's flying. And that's wonderful praise, and it makes me feel like I'm doing something right. But I think that helm control is just wonderful. I hope it exists in the future, and it's made me want to become a pilot. So stay tuned for that.
Awesome. And finally, what do you think Erica Ortega's legacy will be in the Star Trek universe?
Oh, that's a weighty question. I right now, with what we've filmed and what we've done and what we've shown to the world, I want her legacy to be that when you're confident and you're sure of yourself, and you've experienced a lot in life that could have broken you but didn't, you can accomplish anything. And we'll see more of Ortegas's background, what she's seen in battle, in season 2 and in seasons to come. But I've kind of like so much that happened with my own life, and as an actor, and also just as Melissa, has affected, what came out in season 1 and what was filmed in season 2. And so I think that also influenced, what I did with Ortegas, where, in life we experience hardships, we experience grief, we experience things that we didn't want to experience. And then, but that's life, right? But it's what we make of that, that determines our future, and it determines how people will remember us. And I hope me as Melissa, I hope when people think of me, they think of someone who inspires them and makes them happy and makes them, want to do better in whatever it is that they do. I hope that Ortegas is the same way. That people look at her and they go, here's this fantastic pilot who, was really wonderful at what she did, and she inspired her crew, and she inspired, a legion of new fans as well as old. And so I hope her legacy is that, when you're good at what you do, and you keep trying, that anything is possible.
Amazing. That's it. Thank you so much.